Hello and welcome to Tech24. I'm Annelise Borges. Coming up, 4 more years and a long to-do list. In today's show, we talk about Barack Obama's re-election and the challenges he faces in the digital world. There's less of it, but not less to it. Apple starts shipping its iPad mini and we get a chance to check it out in Test 24. Guess the first thing Barack Obama did when he learned he was re-elected? He tweeted. Perhaps one of the best examples of a digital age leader, Mr. Obama knows the web, and he knows how to use it. His 2012 campaign strategy was based on electoral micro-targeting. A secret project, codenamed Narwhal, gathered and crossed information about voters to know what message to deliver and to whom. Now that President Obama is back in Washington, he will have to get serious and invest even more energy into the digital world to resolve some unfinished business, like rethinking the smart grid, beefing up cyber defense, and scrapping or bringing back SOPA and PIPA. To help us understand some of the U.S. president's digital challenges, Mark Edwards joins us now. Mark, let's start with the most controversial measures. Stop Online Piracy Act and Protect Intellectual Property Act, SOPA and PIPA. They're supposed to protect one of the most important industries in the U.S. Intellectual property accounts for 20% of U.S. GDP and nearly 74% of total U.S. exports. But critics say the anti-piracy bills that would allow the government to shut down certain websites go against freedom of speech. President Barack Obama opposed the idea, the whole concept, and the votes on SOPA and PIPA were indefinitely postponed. Do you think, Mark, they would come back?
Well, I think it's difficult to say whether they will end up coming in exactly the same form that they were created. But the truth is that media companies are always trying to find ways to fight privacy. They've already tried suing individuals or pursuing the individuals and shutting down things like Napster back in the day. What they've done is they've tried to work with internet service providers to get them to take action. That sort of didn't work quite as well. Now they're working harder with the government to try and see if they can make some actual changes. But the fact is that they're able to fight against companies in the USA and shut down domains in the US, but a lot harder against companies that are based abroad. And we've still got, Pirate Bay, Mega Upload, SoloMovie.eu. I'm not just doing advertising for these companies, but the fact is it's very hard for them to decipher that. And the Department of Justice is working towards helping these media companies eradicate these termed illegal copyright infringement sites. At the end of the day, in the last 2 years, Obama and his administration and the Department of Justice have been able to shut down 1,500 sites. So it's not like they're doing nothing. And at the end of the day, Barack Obama is known as a music fan, and it's the music industry is really taking a huge hit from online piracy. And also, he's a big, the Democrats are known as the Hollywood party in many ways. He's got a lot of fans and a lot of friends in Hollywood, and they are also, the music, the motion picture of America. They stand to lose a lot from the fact that people are downloading films and series illegally. So it may take a bit of time, but I think that we'll see some changes coming in his new presidency. So.
Mark, let's now turn to the smart grid, because back in 2008, Obama had big dreams for a digital smart grid that would self-monitor and self-heal, minimizing costly outages. What happened? Why aren't we there yet?
Well, we mentioned Obama came in 2008. It was a huge thing. In 2009, he passed the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, and the Department of Energy actually ended up investing $34 billion in around 100 different smaller smart grid projects. And that's not an insignificant amount of money. I think the big difference is trying to change the mindset. If we take the EU, for example, they see smart grids and smart homes, and they see it as a precursor to an energy transition and to what is effectively a carbon neutral world. Whereas in the US, it's more seen as a sort of customer empowerment, if you will, and demand response. So what they're doing is it's more, look at it from the EU's perspective, it's the future. From the US perspective, it's more a choice. And I think in that sense, you can see that whether the legislation will be pushed through to make bigger changes straight away, I'm not sure. I think it'll probably be more of the same.
Another tough challenge for Obama's second term is cyber defense. U.S. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta said the U.S., quote, needs to build and maintain the finest cyber operators, unquote. But yet experts say cyber defense technology is not working. Why is that, Mark?
I think there's one, it's a complex question, but there's a simple answer: lack of communication. The public companies and the US agencies and the private companies are not working together. And it really, in a way, it doesn't help that we've got a split, with the Senate controlled on one side by the Democrats and the House of Representatives controlled by the Republicans, means that a lot of bills haven't been able to be passed and turned into legislation. We've got this opposition the whole time. And we're hearing that Obama will pass an executive order, but it's not going to be as strong and it's not going to be as imposing as we think. What it will be is actually more of some guidelines to do with critical systems and trying to share the critical information, but not necessarily forcing people to do it. And as we said, I'm just not sure that it'll take that long, that they'll have the time to actually do it. Who knows in the next few years, but hopefully Obama will be able to make some changes.
Lovely. Thanks for that, Mark. We will move on now because it's time for Test 24. There's less of it, but not less to it. Apple promises the full iPad experience on a 7.9-inch screen. Everything you'll love about the iPad, you can now hold in one hand. Mark, the iPad mini is 23% thinner and 53% lighter than the previous iPad. Obviously, that is a big difference. But is this, in your opinion, is this a tool or a toy?
I would say it's probably more of a toy. If you have a look at it, I mean, it's got the beautiful designs of an Apple piece of hardware. It's so light. It fits beautifully. I think for women, it's going to be perfect in a handbag, a lot lighter, a lot smaller than an iPad, but it has all of the functionality. If we take a quick look at some of the apps, I love this little app here called Barefoot Books, and it's the atlas of the world. Look, I love an atlas as much as anybody else. It's perfect for reading. It's got very good, it's intuitive for reading books, but it's actually the ability to play games and read things. I was just having a little game earlier on, coming through, shooting around with games like this. It's very recreational.
Shooting around.
Yeah, sorry, shooting around. Not probably the right thing. 270,000 apps to choose from. It's ready to go. You've got a library of things to keep you entertained for those short journeys on the tube, on the metro, or long journeys on the train or at the airport. I think it's a lovely piece of kit.
All that with 10 hours of battery life. That's quite a feat.
And the thing that I actually like the most in many ways, it only takes around 3 hours to charge up. So whereas the main iPad will probably have to do it overnight, this one, on your way to work, you're charging up 3 hours, full battery, and I played with it a lot this weekend. I really enjoyed this.
All right, thanks for that, Mark, and thank you for watching this edition of Tech 24. Don't forget you can give us your feedback on the show via Facebook or on Twitter at TechF24. And we leave you with images of Bionic 3, the most advanced bionic hand commercially available in the world today. The hand is myoelectric, which means it is controlled by muscle twitches and can perform 14 different grips, enabling everyday tasks such as cracking an egg, drinking a beer, and even typing and writing. Technology at the service of mankind. I'll see you next week.